Switching gears now to funding on the line for at least 27 school districts across Michigan.
And it is all tied to COVID-related grants. And while the pandemic is mostly in the past, the state superintendent says suspending relief funds is anything but good for our future.
We're talking about a total of about $42 million. Hamtramck schools could lose $7.2 million, Pontiac $3.3 million, and Brighton $1.2 million, just to name a few.
7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham went digging for answers to find out exactly what's going on.
Between that machinery and this construction material, you're looking at federal dollars at work here at Hamtramck's Dickinson East Elementary, some of the remaining $7.2 million.
So we've added air conditioning to all of our buildings that didn't have air conditioning. We upgraded the heating to go along with that, and that came with a lot of, new vents and also new windows so that everything would be more energy efficient.
And the work will continue, but Tony Coral, an English teacher at Hamtramck's Alternative High School and the Teachers Union president, says the funding source will change. $7.2 million from the federal American Rescue Plan, which needed to be spent by this September, are likely heading back to Washington, D.C.
The Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, and her boss, Donald Trump, are suggesting is they're going to claw that money back. They're going to reach into our accounts and pull the money back.
What does that mean for the budget, for how funds are going to be handled moving forward?
Right. So contracts are signed. So we are obliged to, and we're in the middle of the work. So we can't just stop the work. So that money is going to come out of the general funds. And what general funds are used for are for what you see here. Furniture, some of the technology. It pays for salaries, it pays for the lights, it pays for other student programs, right? Textbooks, all of supplies, paper, all of that.
She says it could mean fewer supplies, potentially impacting learning.
I don't know if it will mean a staff reduction. I hope not, right? I mean, because it's just making the kids pay, and there's no reason for that.
We don't want that. We need more.
Rinku Dar has a son in the 8th grade who has special needs. She says he takes classes at Grosse Pointe schools through an arrangement with Hamtramck Public Schools, for which she is thankful.
I'm satisfied with the classes, the teachers. They are very nice, and they are doing awesome job for my son.
7 News Detroit reached out to Hamtramck School Board President Abdul Malik Al-Gahayam, who echoed the funding gap would be filled by the general fund. State Superintendent Michael Rice with the Michigan Department of Education said in a statement, quote, "A change in administration should not void previous commitments." And the U.S. Secretary of Education needs to rethink her March 28 communication. That's when Secretary McMahon announced the funding would be pulled. In Hamtramck, Darren Cunningham, 7 News Detroit.
All right, Darren, thank you.